Hi.
Hello, Glenn.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, you recognize his voice?
We never spoke over the. Did we? No, we never spoke over the phone. It was just like over the internet type of thing.
Right.
Ah, that's cool. So it really is quiet like that? Okay.
Well, there were a whole bunch of people planned for July and August, and all of a sudden there seemed to be a message sent out saying, stay away, we have a job to do. We don't want people being there during July and August, so it just basically got quiet, except for one guy that showed up to do the net to become the call him webmaster or something, and then a woman from Massachusetts who came and spent some time, and she's coming back to live here.
Mm.
So Tom is coming back next summer to work on the farm part of things. So was it creation or creator sent us those three people?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about like just living in Canada,
Yeah.
but I didn't know about like living in your house, because it'd probably be a lot of, I don't know, I don't want to be a burden to anybody, but it would be good for me because I have a grandmother. I told you this before, who lives right outside, so I could, every once in a while just come up there.
Yeah, the lady that's coming to live here from Massachusetts is going to start in college as an adult student.
Mm-hmm.
She's 51 years old. She's bringing her 16-year-old son, and she's black.
Mm-hmm. It's the one that got her tires popped, right?
That got what?
That got her tires popped?
Yeah. So we're going to have what we set out to have, a mix of people, male, female, white, black, yellow, red, whatever.
That would be really interesting. That's cool. You got a guy from Scotland. That would be really interesting if you could have like a guy from Africa. Just who knew?
I'd like to have someone from Namibia.
Namibia.
Saw my email today.
Oh yeah. I think, what was the name of it?
The white lady paintings on the wall. The Namibian Brandenburg.
Oh yeah, I seen it. I didn't read it yet.
Yeah. It's linked to Germany and Angela Merkel. Angela, she pronounces it. Angela Merkel. She's supposed to be the boss of all we men.
Well, what's the name of the organization?
She's the Chancellor of Germany. She's the equivalent of your president.
Oh.
She's at the level of Barack Obama. George Bush.
Yeah, speaking of the wee men, I was just telling Tom that I was watching. There's a movie you used to watch. It's called Legend. Tom Cruise is in it, and it's all like, has goblins and elves and stuff. But in the beginning, the Lord of Darkness, he's like scared of this perfect creature they call the unicorn. It was good, and there's something that he said. He goes, "Yes, the unicorn points straight to heaven." And I was like, "Oh man, tell us communication." That's what they mean, and the reason why it's a horse, because it's a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Unicorn was the name used by we men. Women who are not women.
Yeah. But I was confused with, like, in the West, like nuns, they approach, them with saying, "Oh yeah, you get inseminated because Mary did it with God." But how do they do that to like Buddhist nuns? Because they have all types of nuns and there's different type of format, kind of.
It's basically the same kind of approach. You're married to Buddha. It's whatever pleases the person, whatever security. Yeah. First of all, anybody who lives in a monastery is looking for security. Yeah. They're kind of afraid of the outside world. Yeah. But when somebody's looking for security in a monastery, they basically become clients of whoever's providing the security, do what they're told to do. Obedience is the key to living in a monastery or in a priesthood.
The one who just does what they're told goes the furthest. That's the whole system, right? Yeah.
They exchange their free will in return for group security. And what you end up getting is the opposite of what you're looking for. You're looking for security within freedom, but you're getting the security of a slave.
You think if I ever, like, investigated, like, going into these, like, nun places, you think I'd ever, like, find anything if I try to do it?
Not if you're a man.
Oh, man.
You would be an anathema to the whole operation.
Do you think they use the male priests
Well, in the beginning, there were always dual monasteries, is what they called them.
Yeah, why not?
The males provided security to the female, and they lived in an environment shaped something like a barbell. Yeah. You have your side, we have our side. Our job is outdoors, your job is indoors. You do the cleaning and the laundry and the cooking, and we'll do the gardening and the selling of the produce and raising of the funds and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they always do that, I noticed. They always have like an outer and inner.
Yeah, well, P1 and P2.
And that was this almost similar to the Knights Templar. Like, sure. They said they were like more secret, and then they had the Knights Malta who were kind of like they didn't have a secret. From what they say in the book, they didn't have a secret initiation. It was more they worked in hospitals and stuff like that. And supposedly they were like enemies of each other. So that was interesting. Hello?
Yep.
Oh.
I'm just listening.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, with the Knights Templars though, weren't they, because they say that they went to the Holy Land, like their whole job was to protect pilgrims in the Holy Land. And I know that was a cover for something.
Yeah, they just went to school. They went to Persian University.
Yeah, they said that they had some, like they were part of Syrian fraternities. Yeah.
Basically, they were there at a period in time when technology and science had to be transferred from the west to the east. From the east to the west, I should say, backwards. It had come out of India and China and Japan and Mongolia, and it was now in the Middle East and had to be transferred to the west in preparation for the creation of the lab, the College of 6 Days, which was to be the United States, which would complete the package and get them into space. So these guys had to go learn what it was that they knew in the Middle East that wasn't known in the West.
Oh, okay.
So they brought back with them science.
So the Middle East is important.
Technology.
So Middle East is this is like the middle of the West,
It's the middle. It's Medi.
Yeah.
It's the
number 2.
Yeah, the spy on both sides. You know, it's the media.
Yeah.
So they found out that in Persia, it was being run by outsiders acting internally. So they had a Persian image, Persian face, but they had a Judean structure of control over financing. And the Judeans basically are the people who live in Jordan, not the people who live in Israel. So they were the priesthood and the finance ministers and the people who control.
Yeah, they were like back then they were the ones who had like power.
Yeah.
The real power.
And their name, if you needed a name for them, is Zoroastrian, which means the ruse
of the stars. Yep. When you read the history of Zoroaster, did you ever? You probably have. That there was like a legend behind his name, saying that came from a cow. Like he was in the tree, and they would feed. So it was weird. Like it was basically saying that whole story of like DNA, how it passes through things.
Yeah.
And
nurturer. He was basically the symbolism is that of the cow. It's the nurturer, the one that feeds you.
Yeah. That
gives you warmth and comfort and provides you with social engineering.
Isn't that the Catholic Church too? Don't they?
Sure.
Breastfeed or.
It's all religion. They are your place to be fed, to be nurtured.
And notice that too with the architecture. A lot of them, like those big domes, they look like a breast or something. Or...
Yeah. Not an accident that the Pope French name is Pape.
Pape.
And Pape is the English word for nipple. And it's also Pa, father.
Yeah.
So the nipple on the father.
Yeah, these allegories in movies, like one movie, they show like these Neanderthals, they actually hint that they were like a dying race of people. Because that is true, right? Like there's not that many of them.
There has to be basically a group of Neanderthalers that underwent a transformation program linked to cryogenics, being frozen in time.
Yeah.
And obviously there had to be someone who could assist them during that time and assist them in their return.
So you said there was other Neanderthals that were assisting them.
Yeah.
But then since they're not running the show anymore, you think they could have died out, or maybe that's...
No, they've been sent up, 50 dead men walking. You can remanufacture people who have lived before out of their DNA. And if you can do it to pigs and sheep and cows,
you can
no
do it to the end
between a human being. So that was the information brought back by the Knights Templars to prove that the people in Persia had knowledge that other people didn't have, and the product was they remanufactured in a laboratory a pile of excrement found in the caves in southern France, and out of that came a family called the Grimaldis, who are today the Prince of Monaco. So that was proof positive that they could make people who had died before resuscitate. It's all of the allegory of reincarnation in the Buddhist religion, and born again in the Christian religion.
There's so many allegories for me to catch up with. Like, just the Bible itself.
Think of Al Gore.
Yeah. Allegory. And it's the Rigo allegory. Bringing back this whole...
A gore is basically a triangular piece of land or cloth, and basically is referring to three corners, and the hermaphrodite is a 3-in-1. So the Neanderthaler male and female assembled together and put in a container and provided with communications 2 ways so that they can do what they're told to do in places far away. Pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, it's simple. I understand. There's just other parts to this whole thing that I just want to learn more details, I guess. Because, my problem is with this, Glenn, is just I understand it, and I'm overstanding more and more.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, how do I'm trying to find a way to better explain it to people. Like,
yeah, well,
I can, like, you know what it is? Like, because I'm making videos with the stuff on YouTube, and I actually, I want to tell you that, too. I was watching, and I forgot to tell you, Benjamin Button at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like a watch in the basement, a big clock in the basement, and then all of a sudden this water just rushes in. So I think I know that allegory of like things to come. Yeah. But
Nova is water rushes in, black water mixed with coal, and
now
that's what it's all about.
I put that on I took the clip and I put it on. I uploaded it, and people ask me, like, what's the symbolism here? What are you talking about? and it's hard to explain because there's so many just to understand that piece.
Tsunami. An atomic explosion under the sea in the Titanic.
Yeah.
That's waiting to start the process on the East Coast.
Yeah. It just, to understand, like, one part, like, say you want to understand a piece symbolism, you have to know the whole picture.
You have to know the premise.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the premise of just other people who are trying to know, and they, I don't know, I guess it comes with patience, trying to teach, because you do have a lot of patience, I guess. Like, you have patience with me, man. I don't know how you did it.
You have to basically allow people to move at their own speed.
Yeah.
As long as they grasp the concept that there's a premise to all of this, and then you gather up the evidence and you hand it over to them and let them work it out in their own world, their own life.
Yeah.
Look at, the evidence is all around if you know what you're looking for. And patience is part of it, but you only have patience for those people who are trying to learn. You cannot waste your energy on the masses who don't want to learn.
Oh, yeah, I definitely don't do that. The people have to demonstrate
by their actions or their words or their thinking that they're trying. They're trying to learn. They're trying to overstand rather than just understand. Yeah. And then you give them the time that you can afford to give to them. It's up to them to do a little bit on their own, just the same way as you did.
Yeah.
I didn't come across this by any instantaneous process. I don't consider myself to be any smarter than anybody else. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I do is pay attention to detail.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah. It's just the details, like, I am attentive to all that detail. I'm just like, in
my life, it's always been that. Look around and see what other people may not see, because you're not looking at the big image in the room. You're looking at the detail in the room. When your brain gets used to that, when you're reading, it's the same thing. You come across a point that would basically mean nothing to most people, and you pay attention, and it may not mean anything to you when you're reading it, except that you know it has a purpose. Yeah. You may not know what that purpose is, but you just store it in the back of your mind, and one day it fits. At the time you're least looking, all of a sudden, remember, hey, this point was in the Bible or in Shakespeare or
nope, I have
or whatever.
Yeah, that memory. I guess that's why they made that God memory. It's called Thoth. That's what it was.
Not an accident that the word memory is close to the word mammary. Memory and a breast is linked, because you're getting nurtured, you're getting social engineering the child, and whoever is doing the nurturing is basically building your life. Now, only when you reach a certain age you take over your own life. Comes from memory of the things you've seen throughout your life, your experiences. The original part came from memory. So, how old are you now?
26.
26. Well, 14 years of gathering evidence ahead of you, and each day will confirm the things that you will end up acting upon at a time later in life.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I know in my life, I feel like I need to go to and just go other parts of the world and see things.
Experiences are different in every part of the world. So there is nothing to lose by visiting places.
Yeah. You've been around Canada, and you've been, I think, to Europe, you said it was?
Canada, the U.S., the Caribbean, France, England. That's basically been my places that I've visited.
I've always wanted to go to those places. Like, I wouldn't mind going to Greece and just going to those museums.
Yeah, a trip around the Mediterranean gives you a lot of experience, background material. Yeah. Because that's where most of the Western social engineering was manufactured. they didn't come up with the ideas. The ideas basically came from the Far East, and the Far East got it from India, and India got it from Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka got it from the islands leading to Australia, and Australia got it from Pyramid Mountain. New Zealand as well got it from Pyramid Mountain. In the sea between Australia and New Zealand.
So it's like these ideas. This is what they meant by like the big idea. Like they just like nurture it, cultivate it, as it spreads around the world. That's pretty interesting.
Thousands and thousands of years went into all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
Nothing happens overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of having patience and assembling the evidence.
So that would be a good experience too, going to the East and learning from there. I actually watched the movie.
Well, you don't learn because their job is not to teach.
Yeah.
Their job is to program.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to remember. There's a big difference between learning and adding to your program. If you look at societies in the East, would you want to be like they live?
No.
No, neither would I. They don't have a sense of freedom. We at least have that illusion of freedom and we're working towards it. We haven't been that dumbed down to believe that you can be free and walk around in a burqa, for example, or that you can be free and be forced to wear a dress. How can a plumber go out to work when he's dressed in an Arab? How can somebody work on construction in a dress down to the ankles?
Yeah, and one movie it was about this Japanese Sikh society, the Yakuza they call, and you got to see how they are, like their conditioning, like how they are compared to, I guess, the mob over here. Like they're more like disciplined in a sense, because like one of the things that they do is like if say like one scene I see in this movie, like if a guy he was accused, somebody accused him of something and it wasn't right what he was saying, and then found out it wasn't right, and the guy that he accused was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, and all about his honor and everything, and he just took a knife and stabbed his own self in the stomach to prove that he didn't do anything, and then everybody turned to the other guy, and the guy realized he messed up by accusing him, so he just cut off his own finger. So like, and I'm just like, whoa.
So stupid.
Yeah, guys will kill themselves to prove something. It's like it's all about how they're remembered when they go. That's what they care about, I guess. That's what they know.
It's social engineering.
Yeah.
It's a program.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sure, you can work on construction in a dress, but you cannot be productive. You cannot match somebody who's walking around in pants and what you're going to do all day. So social engineering is to dumb people down.
Yeah. But
in any event, it's bedtime.
10 already?
Past bedtime.
All right, Glenn. I guess.
Talk to you again.
Good luck.
When you call again.
Yeah. Or when you have time.
We're expecting a couple of or 4 visitors between now and the weekend. So.
All right.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Call when you can.
Okay.
And we'll tell you if we can talk that day or not.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right, Glenn.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.